And welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a tag video. I was tagged by Karrane Family Diaries. It's a couple who now live in Australia, and I'm going to tag them. I'm going to link their channel down below. Her name is, and I'm going to get it wrong, it's spelt Caitlin, and her husband's name is Eddie. I don't think she pronounces it Caitlin, but that's how it's spelt, and I'm not sure. I would butcher it anyway, so I'm going to call you Caitlin if that's okay. And it's called the Expat tag. So I'm going to get straight into it because it might take me a while. First of all, the first question is, where were you born and where do you live now? I was born in a little town called Ballymena in Northern Ireland. I lived there for 21 years and met my husband when I was 16 years old. He's from a little town called Carrickfergus in Northern Ireland, and we met at a dance. We fell in love, we got married, we lived in England for a while. We moved to England, stayed in England for a year, and then we went back to Ireland for a year. In 1975, I'm going to say, the troubles in Northern Ireland were very, very bad. My husband worked in Belfast, I worked in Belfast. Very stressful place to live with bombs and shootings going off all around you. You get the drift. You can never imagine what it was like to live in Northern Ireland when there was so much fighting and bombing. We were in the middle of a civil war. So we thought about it. My husband's family decided to move to Canada first, and then we followed in 1976. I was pregnant with my first child then. Number two is what made you leave your home country? I kind of answered that in the first question. We left because of the Civil War going on, and that was between the North and the South, and the British were involved in that to try and keep peace. So that was not a fun place to live. Number three is, what type of reaction do you get when you meet new people and tell them where you are from? I don't get a reaction anymore from anyone. Canada is full of Irish, British people, so we're around British people all the time, so I don't really get a reaction anymore. And if I do, it's always, is that accent Scottish, Newfie, or Irish? And I'll say, I'm from Northern Ireland. The next question is number 4. What was the easiest or the hardest part in adjusting to your new country? Well, the easiest part was the freedom to go anywhere. I could go into a shop without getting my handbag searched, getting frisked down, and the easiest part was going into Belfast to shop and not hear bombs going off all around you. I would not let the war stop me from shopping in the city. I was determined to dig my heels in, and if I got blew up, then so be it. The hardest part for me was leaving my mom, who was in poor health, and my sisters and my nieces. And let's see, images, words. Number 5 is images, words, or sounds that sum up the expat experience you've had so far. And, okay, so the images would be, I had to think about this for a bit. The images would be the beautiful fall colors here in the fall. We would take drives. I videotaped some of that. Some of my videos you'll see in the past. I have posted the beautiful colors and just the scenery and the smell. Those are some of the beautiful beautiful things that you know, just give me a really good feeling. And And then the other thing that I would have to say that sums up my experience here would be my boys, my two children, and they were the best thing that happened to me. And they're both Canadian. They were both born here. I was pregnant when I came to Canada, but he was born here the following year. And number 6, what is your favorite food or drink item in your new country? Well, that's a difficult one because when I first arrived and I was pregnant, I hated everything. Everything tasted horrible, the butter, the milk, the bread. I still do not like the Canadian bread, just saying. I have to go to maybe a specialty bakery to get a really nice loaf of bread. I miss the good old sliced pan bread in Ireland or England. But I have to say the one unique thing about Canada is the beaver tails. And if you watched my interview, I did talk about the beaver tails, and they are my favorite thing. They are just delicious. Number 7, the question is, what is the one thing you said yes to in your new city that you wouldn't say yes to back home? That's a hard one too. I came to Canada and I couldn't drive, and I figured to myself, you know what, I probably never would have gotten the chance to drive in Ireland, so I'm determined to drive in Canada. And my husband got a little car, and my friend taught me how to drive, and then I went to driving school. Another thing I probably would have not done was buy a house in Ireland because we just always rented. And are there any cultural norms, phrases in your new country which you cannot stand? Well, we have a few different things in the United States, and I would say none of them really annoy me, but they're kind of funny. And Canadians say all the time, well, they don't say it all the time, but a lot of people say it, and it's like a. And they would say that instead of what, or excuse me, or a, how are you? Or they just put a, eh, in sentences. And we call each other Canucks instead of Canadians, so we're Canucks. And a $2 coin is called a toonie here. So, but none of these things annoy me. They're just, they're just part of our culture here in Canada. And then number 9 is, what do you most enjoy doing in your new country? Well, I enjoy going to Toronto, the city. It's beautiful, it's alive, it's vibrant. The theater there, we get all the Broadway shows. I love it, love it, love it. I love driving up north to see the beautiful scenery and the changing of the colors. I love to go to Niagara Falls, and I go down to Niagara Falls all the time, cross the border, but just to go to Niagara Falls and see the falls is amazing. And number 10, do you think you will ever move home? No way. Not a chance. I would ideally love, if I was rich, I would ideally love to spend about 4 months in Ireland, about 4 months in Florida, and then 4 months in Canada. That would be my ideal living arrangement. And before I go, one quick word. I just wanted to tell you what I have on my face today. I'm going to be going through about probably 5 or 6 foundations that I have in my collection. I haven't opened yet. So today I'm wearing the Neutrogena Mineral Shears Powder Foundation. And what I'm going to do is, that's it. And it's in the color Classic Ivory. So it looks like this. And then it's like this inside. It's a powder, like that. And underneath it also comes with a little powder puff inside, but I use a brush. I'm going to try them all out, wear them for the day. This is, as I say, this is this one. This is just a powder foundation, and I have never really used a powder foundation. So I'm going to see how it looks overall for today, and then tomorrow I'll try a different one. So after I've tried about 5 or 6 of them, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you what I think of them, the longevity of them, whether they sunk into my fine lines, if they wore off, or whatever, right? And on that note, I'm going to let you go, get back to drinking my coffee with my missus, my Ray done. I'll see you all on the next video. And don't forget, don't let anyone ever dull your sparkle.